Znaš li mladi prvo spava u konobizme?
Most people come to Imotski to see the red and blue lakes. Some people come to the lakes to see true Imotski culture. Welcome to 48 Hours in the Imota region, Imotski Beyond the Lakes. And we start with, of course, Šiavica.
7, 9, 5, moje 4, ove, 5, 9, 4, ma šta si je? Ajde, daj, ajde, svaki, moje li Boga ti, moja vrš, bravo, daj, bravo, nove.
So what can people get up to on a day trip to Imotski from the coast? If you're looking to take a break from the beach, it's about half an hour from the coast. You come into Imotski and first of all you have this fantastic Dalmatian lifestyle, nice little cafe culture as you see here. But it's also a very, very important wine region. In fact, it used to have the second biggest winery in all of Yugoslavia. And there are now lots of private wineries doing private tastings. Food here is typical traditional Dalmatia, none of that tourist stuff you'll get on the coast. But it's also a really, really interesting activity centre. So there is hiking, horse riding, cycling. They have a really, really interesting geopark. So there are geo trails if you want to go hiking. Of course, the two most famous things are the Red Lake and the Blue Lake. But the Green Lake and the rest of the geopark is absolutely fascinating. You can also go quad biking and fishing and horse riding. So really there's a lot of things for all the family to do. And a lot of people now are deciding that this is a great place to stay because it's so peaceful compared to the business of the coast, but that you have access to the beach. Amazing. The natural beauty of Imotski is not restricted just to the Blue and Red Lake. Behind you we have the Green Lake and also this UNESCO Global Geopark, Biokovo Imotski, which was founded in 2024. It's the third UNESCO Global Geopark in Croatia after Papuk and the Vis Archipelago. And including the famous lakes, it also has 9 other permanent and semi-permanent lakes as well, including this one here behind, including Lokvičićka Lake, Dva Oka, the 2-eye lake, and Pološko Blato, which is a semi-permanent wetland as well. And it's also connected to the Biokovo Mountains, so you have a combination of Biokovo and the coast, and also the incredible karst of this region. So lots to discover away from the main 2 lakes. A great way to explore is through a series of superbly put together geo trails. You can see one behind us, which take you through various different parts of the geopark. And you also have in the Badnjevica Canyon a chance to go climbing with a really cool ferrata as well. So this is all very protected. This is a karst region, so nothing is filtered. Everything goes straight through. So you have to be very, very careful with the ecology here. And it's just really peaceful.
Gastronomija u Imotskom, što to točno znači? Tu imamo jako puno utjecaja raznih kultura. Od starih Ilira, Rimljana, Gota, Avara, Turaka, Austro-Ugara, Talijana. Nema bolje kuharice od Imotske, kako na selu, tako i u gradu. Tu ne bih izdvajao posebno jela, samo bih rekao da morate doći i probati.
Imotski cuisine is very, very hearty. If you're a lover of the traditional peka under the bell or lamb, this is the place for you to come. We also have a lot of river fish here, including trout. And we also have traditional dishes like Dalmatian pashtetsada. It's famous for its cake, the Imotski torta, and also ravioli, which you can also find in Sin and in Trogir. Most of the restaurants tend to focus on traditional Dalmatian cuisine. And we're here today in Local Bar Kitchen, which in May 2026 opened just opposite the Mercedes statue, the famous one, and it's offering a much more sort of modern sort of fare of burgers and so on. And we're here today with a steak salad and noodles with prawns, so we'll give that a try. So lots of different options here to eat in Imotski. One of the main reasons to visit Imota is the wine scene. This is a region that has a history dating back thousands of years. It used to have the second biggest winery in all of Yugoslavia, producing 22 million litres a year. And today it's very much powered by small family growers, family businesses, which are growing a mixture of the local varieties such as Kujundusha and Tunjak, but also blending in international varieties. And without doubt, the number one name in the scene is Grabavac, and we're here drinking the first modern sparkling wine in the Dalmatian region. And with me is the legend that is Nikola Grabavac, who'll say a little bit more about Imota wine, the history, and where things are going today.
So, Imotski wine region is a wine region that has been here since the almost dawn of time. The grape wine has been grown here for more than 2,000 years. But throughout these last 2,000 years, we had our ups and downs. Our family has been in the business for quite a long time. For more than 200 years, we have been producing wine and grapes in continuum. But in 1995, we kind of restarted and rebranded the whole family business into what it is today. What followed is that other wine growers and other family businesses started doing the same. So from what we had during the communism time, where we were focused more on the quantity and scalability of the whole production, we changed to higher quality wines. That's why we, besides Kujundusha and Trnjak, introduced some international varieties that we grow today. And I'm proud to say that Imotski wines in general, not only wines from our winery, have very, very noticeable results in the market in Croatia, but also in all of European Union. And we are looking to export our wines to the global markets.
Fantastic. And every time I come here, I always have a great time. I always have a bad head the next morning, but I'm joking. But I always learn something new. And today, what I'm learning is that you have had a very unique and innovative use of the Red Lake that nobody else has done.
Yes, so we have an association of wine growers and winemakers in Imotski, Cvit Razgovora, that has been going on for close to 30 years now. And we decided a couple of years ago to try to age our wines in Blue Lake. The first try was not that good because the wines were gone. They say that either elves or werewolves took it. We don't know who did it. But then we decided to do it in Red Lake, and for a couple of years now we have been aging our wines from winemakers or the wineries from the association. We have been aging it in our Red Lake for a year and then taking it out, which is quite a challenge because we have to have help from the alpine climbers to get down to the surface of the lake.
Fantastic. So a great use of lakes. You can play football down there, you can steal wine, and you can age wine.
Yeah, the lakes are a never-ending story with with inspiration to do all kinds of mischiefs.
But for the coolest wine tasting experience in Imotski, literally, head to the Jagul wine cellar right in the centre of town. This is a beautiful, beautiful historic house and cellar which was built in 1893. And it's been preserved, the family preserved it. There's a little museum upstairs, but downstairs is where the magic happens. The temperature drops to a really, really pleasant 14, 15 degrees, whatever. And they have a lot of guest winemakers here that do private tastings, they do events. And it's owned by the family of the lovely Philippa here, who used to be my colleague at Total Croatian News until she went on to bigger and better things. And she's going to say a little bit about the winemaker today. And also what I love about this is we have the usual prosciutto and cheese and olives, but Philippa has gone a little bit further and got a couple of extra things, so you can explain what else there is.
About the winemaker, so we have one more Kujundusha expert from Imotski region called Sušić Winery, and he's really actually started to get recognized on Croatian level and also worldwide level with his kunjusha, with his different red wine blends, of course grown in Imotski region. So parnik, which is actually also part of the Croatian heritage, and it's a Swiss chard pie, done only by people from Polisa region, that's kind of inland of Omiš. And also I have carob cake from carob from island of Vis, where it's really well used ingredient for the desserts, and also local uštipci or fritule that are also locally made.
Excellent. Well, all I can say is grab a glass and
Cheers. Or živjeli.
Živjeli. Great to see you again.
See you again.
This is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen, really. It's a mosaic covering 3 walls of this room in the middle of this rundown factory. And it represents all the motifs of Imotski region. You have the red lake, you have the blue lake, you have pomegranates, you have sheep, you have grapes and so on. And here is tobacco here. This is said to be the artist Slobodana Matic, who was a local lady from 2 kilometers away, very famous artist, and her husband was a very famous writer. And over a period of 4 years, between 1976 and 1980, she put this together, 450,000 tiles. They're all tiny, of all different colours, natural colours from 5 different continents. It's an absolutely superb piece of work. And at the end of a perfect day in the Imota region, we find ourselves in Villa Mila in Zmijavci. And I was really excited earlier to find out that there is an outstanding craft gin from this region. And so we managed to track down the lovely Josip here, who kindly agreed to come out and give us a little explanation about what he's up to, and also hopefully a tasting.
So we produce it in Imotski. The story behind this is that my late father was Commodore in Croatian Navy, and he was born in Imotski, and his life was my motivation to make something to honor him. Between my first idea and my first bottle, probably 100 gins in Croatia appeared, and I told myself, you need to make something new, something nobody has, and we are in wine region. And whenever I go to some event, there is me and 101 winemakers. So I took grape from Vinaria Juzel and create something different. So this is a dish gin, but we don't put water in it, we put grape.
Okay.
And you can see it is made from Ternjak.
Which is a local red variety from this region.
Local red variety.
When in Rome. I'm sitting on the back seat of a 1967 Mercedes S250, which is in the ownership of this legend next to me, Ivan. He's the president of the Imotski Mercedes Old Timers Association. This is one of 8,000 Mercedes owned by people from the Imotski region, population 25,000. It's the highest per capita ownership of Mercedes in Europe, and it has got a real iconic status within Croatia and the car world in general. And here Ivan's going to explain a little bit to me about all this. Ajde Ivane, pitanje, reci mi malo priča o Mercedesu u Imotskoj i vi ste predsjednik udruga. Što se bavi udruga, koliko članovi i tako dalje?
Naš klub je star 12 godina. Prešli smo 200 članova. Imamo neprocjenjivo blago Mercedesima, najviše, jer to vuče počast i čast naših ljudi ovdje. To je onako tradicionalno, voziti Mercedesa je znak da si uspješan čovjek i to je ostalo tako. Danas mi to njegujemo kroz spomenik, kroz mnoge kolekcije koje danas imamo. Na stotine obitelji su kolekcionari starih tih Mercedesa, klasičnih vozila.
If you like your sports the traditional way, don't come to Imotski, because here is probably the weirdest football match in the world. Behind me you have the famous Blue Lake, whose level rises and goes down. Every few years or so it goes completely dry. And when that happens, there is an incredible game of football between the Imotski elves and the werewolves, played on the base of the lake. There's a football match down there. It happens every 5, 10, 15 years maybe. And then the water comes back up again. But absolutely unusual to have a game of football at the bottom of a lake. And if a game of football at the bottom of a lake is strange enough, just across the boulder is the Blue Lake, and here we are at the stadium of NK Imotski, the local team, and this bizarre stadium has been officially named as one of the 10 most unusual in the whole world. So if you're a football purist, don't come to Imotski, but if you want to have some real interesting, authentic, different approach to sport, this is the place for you. One of the realities of life in Imotski is it's always been on the border. It's a region that's been invaded and so on, and so there is this mentality of resistance in the mentality here. And here we have the grave of a guy called Andrija Šimić, who died in 1905. He was born across the border in Herzegovina and is buried here just outside Imotski on the Croatian side. And he's known as the last Hajduk. Hajduk is most famous in the world for Hajduk Split, the football club in Split, which was formed in 1911. The word actually means like outlaw or bandit. And before Šimić, it really had a negative connotation, but this man was resisting the Turks. He also was known as the Croatian Robin Hood. He used to steal from the rich and give to the poor. And he's buried here today. You can see still he's revered. And this is one part of Imotski history which people here cherish, because this resistance, the border crossing, the man, the legend, Andrija Šimić. Don't forget the name. Two of the key themes I found in Imotski the last couple of days are the quality of its nature and the passion of its religion. This is a very, very Catholic part of Croatia. And we're here on the source of the river Vrlica in this beautiful piece of nature. Behind me is probably the most unusual church in the whole of Croatia. It's called the Green Cathedral. It was finished in 1995 by an architect called Edo Šegvić. And as you can see, there's no roof, there's no proper walls, it's just a few pillars coming up. It's only ever used once a year for Mass, and that is on August the 15th, Velagospa, which is the Feast of the Assumption, which is one of the most important days in the Croatian Catholic calendar. And then these poplar trees here, they're 30 meters high, and they really provide shade for the congregation. I mean, really, really beautiful. It's also very, very popular for things like wedding photos and people just coming here just to chill out. But Imotski is a destination I think we can already show you that does everything very differently. And this really is, whether you're religious or not, a really beautiful church. So here we are with the legendary Matija, who's been our guide for the last 2 days, all of Imotski region. We've learned a lot. She knows a lot. And we're talking about some of the personalities, past and present, from Imotski. And perhaps you can tell us a little bit, first of all, about the man with the statue, Tin.
Tin Ujević. This was the first statue, actually, in his honor, although there are more all over Croatia right now. But this was the first statue of Tin Ujević because he was an Imoćan and he was from Imotski. His family is from Imotski. He was born in Vrgorac, died in Zagreb, lived all over Europe. He was a very famous poet and intellectual translator as well. And in his poems, he always mentioned Imotski. So one of his most famous poems that was even made into a song mentions Imotski, malena mjesta srca moga. So he says that it's a small town, small place in his heart, always in his heart. Imotski and Brač. where his mother was from.
And speaking of poems in Imotski, there is another famous poem which Pushkin translated into Russian, Goethe into German, and Sir Walter Scott into English.
Hasanaginica,
Tell us about that.
probably a difficult word for you to say.
That's why you're here.
Hasanaginica was the wife of Hasan Aga. Aga is a name, a word for Turkish Ottoman lord who lived somewhere in this region. So it was a folk poem, epic poem that was told here in this region and written down in 1774 actually, by Alberto Fortis, an Italian traveler and writer. Imotski decided to build a monument to the poem as well, actually dedicate a park to that poem. So maybe that's let's say a unique thing. I don't think you can find it anywhere in the world.
And as a very cultured Imotčanka, as you are, could you please recite this poem from heart now, please?
Što se bijeli u gori zeleno? Everyone knows the beginning, don't worry.
One of the most extraordinary stories in Croatian tourism has been taking place in the Imota region over the last 10 or 15 years, but has got very, very little publicity. I'll just start with the numbers. In 2003, there were 50 registered beds. In 2025, there were 4,000. In 2013, there were 2,000 overnight stays per year. Last year, there were 174,000. There have been various factors for this. One was the motorway connection opened in 2006-2007, but the real breakthrough was in 2013 with the opening of the tunnel to the coast close on the Makarska Riviera. And this opened up not only people being able to go to the coast, but also people from the coast being able to come to Imotski. And so a lot of tourists now are choosing to have a peaceful holiday in tranquil surroundings like we are today, and then being able to get to the beach every single day and then coming back to have an authentic Dalmatian experience. And so we've had an explosion of villas with pools coming, and so a lot of the villages around Imotski, which were slightly dying, have been revitalized by this, and a lot of properties have been renovated. And we're here at Villa Mila in Imotski, for example, and this was just a barn, and it's been transformed into this beautiful stone villa with pool. Very, very comfortable. We were here last night. It was a really, really pleasant stay. And as you can see in the footage, there are various different other villas all over the region. Some of them very, very modern, all of them with pools, fantastic views, and set in the heart of villages where you get a really authentic feel of what life is like in Dalmatia. And as a place to base yourself, just to get away from the crowds and have that sort of feel of what Dalmatia was like, and then have access to the coast, I think there are a few places that can beat Imotski. It's a really, really interesting combination. And it's not just the luxury villas. Here in the centre of Imotski, we have a really, really exceptionally nice heritage hotel, Imoteo, which opened a few years ago. And it really does give a feel of authentic traditional Dalmatia with lots of little details inside in the rooms. Really, really nice place. One of the problems traditionally with tourism in the Imota region and Zagorje in general was the lack of quality hotel accommodation, and this is something that has really changed in the last few years with the opening of Imoteo in Imotski 3-4 years ago. And we're here today in Studenci, which is a village just a little bit north of Imotski, and this used to be the Dom Kultura, the culture house that people used to come from the village for entertainment. And it's been transformed into this very, very nice 4-star boutique hotel with 22 rooms. But in addition to that, they have a farm around the corner where they have the first ever black Slavonian pig. And they have 800 of these. They also produce them then in Sisak. And they're bringing this into the hotel, and they're opening on Saturday. And here we are with a pre-tasting of the Slavonian black pig cheeks with polenta and a local beer, red ale from Omiš. Life is pretty good. One of the things I've learned in Croatia after 24 years here is the further you get away from the centre, the more bizarre the story. So here we are in a tiny little village called Ljusili, which is about 10 minutes north of Imotski. And here we have a Guinness Book of Records holder. It's 15.15 metres long, it's 10.3 metres wide, and it is the biggest handmade drill in the world, which is quite a bizarre thing, but this is the second Guinness Book of Records holder from Imotski for drilling. And the man who built this is also the owner of the biggest collection of handmade drills in the world with over 800 pieces. And it's located in the grounds of Vina Juzul, which happens to be the highest vineyard in Croatia at 700 meters. And the best thing about this winery is, as you'll see here, is they have some really good advice and information about red wine and the benefits of red wine. And you know that I'm a fat guy. This is the only place that I've ever heard that drinking red wine makes you lose weight. So, živeli to that. A lot of people come to Imotski for the red and the blue lake, and what we came for was to see what more there was. And we found not 2 lakes, but 11, a whole UNESCO global geopark, fantastic wine story, great gastronomy, superb tradition, a really, really nice explosion of quality accommodation, super people. We've had a really, really fun time here. People here are very proud of their heritage. We've been out with the president of the Old Timers Association for the Mercedes, another incredible story. This is a town which is not so much on the radar, but come here and come to the Imota region and you'll have an experience that you probably won't find anywhere else in Croatia. But we've had a superb time and I hope you do too.